welcome back. This is Big Muslim again. We're on the road, and currently we're in the Alachua, Florida. And what you're seeing on your screen is the effects of Hurricane Nicholas, which is currently in the Gulf of Mexico on the Texas end. All right. So today is Tuesday, September 14th, and it's now 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Just so you have an idea what time this is happening and where we're located. Now, checking the radar, I can see there's a lot of rain happening on the west coast of Florida, more to the Tampa side, going up to the Florida Panhandle. Check the weather radar, you'll see that. But obviously you can see here there's heavy rain, a heavy downpour of rain. And I could suspect this probably goes into tomorrow, who knows? Because the wind is traveling from the Gulf course, and it's coming westward, slightly going north. And this is according to the weather radar. According to the weather radar, that's what's going on. It's going north, northeast, because it's traveling to the east from the west side, coming in from Texas. So this is heavy rain, obviously, very heavy rain. And you know, you never underestimate these hurricanes. First, they said it was a tropical storm. And then, as soon before it touched land, it upgraded to a hurricane. And that's what's going on. So, just a bit of information that when you're traveling on the road, you're driving, you can also expect these things to occur. Expect these things to occur when you're driving. And if you don't feel safe or comfortable driving in this weather, I would suggest or recommend you find a nice place to pull over where it's safe until you feel comfortable to carry on your trip or your travel. Now I'm going to keep the camera rolling so you can get more footage. Alright, I'm currently on the I-75, the Interstate 75 in Florida, and I'm going south. We're heading to south. On Interstate 75. All this rain, and the winds are very strong. There's strong wind most places. Well, the trees aren't moving right as it is, but behind me there was very strong wind. So hopefully this storm just fades out and go away. But we saw what happened in New Jersey with Hurricane Ida, that most people thought it phased out, but it didn't phase out. It's just developed, you know, with a mixture of all types of weather conditions. I mean, I'm not a weatherman by no means, but just looking at the Hurricane Ida and what happened with Hurricane Ida, we thought it would just phase out probably somewhere over North Carolina, Virginia area, and then probably just go away. But it traveled all the way to New York, New Jersey, and did serious damage up there, right? So with this Hurricane Nicholas, it would be a very wise thing. Even though it touched down in Texas, it's still traveling as a hurricane. So the best thing I would suggest is not take it lightly, and keep an eye on this storm. It could develop into anything, you know. Ida traveled all the way from Louisiana up to New Jersey area and created serious tornadoes, which destroyed a few houses, and also flooded in New York. That flooded a lot of basements. Unfortunately, took some people out. That wasn't good by no means, but it happened. We saw it on the news, on the internet platforms. So a good idea to do is not take this one very lightly, and keep an eye on it until it disappears, completely gone away and gone for good. But it's still traveling, currently speaking right now, today. There doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic on the road. And you can see some areas are a little bit better with the water than other areas. Likewise, the wind. There's some areas with the wind is very strong, some areas is not so strong. But all of this is a part of traveling. You know, when you're traveling and you're driving on the road, wintertime, depending on what state you're in, what geographical region, you're going to experience snow, ice, frozen roads, you know, stuff like that. Strong winds. Out in some areas, you'll experience all types of weather. So when traveling, weather is also a very important thing to keep in mind when you're traveling. Very, very important, because it could make or break your trip, you know, or whatever you're going. So a good idea to do is to check the weather before you go, ahead of time. You know, the 10-day forecast is there, showing you that, okay, the next 10 days it's going to be this here, that there, whatever city or state you're going in. Just check that weather in that area, see what it's going to be, and don't check it 10 days before and then come back to it and be like, okay, 10 days ago this is what it says 10 days ago, so things would probably be the same. It changes by the second. That's the thing about weather that I've noticed. And I'm no weatherman or weather expert, but this is observations I've made over the years. You know, with weather, it changes rapid. I think it changes every second. You know, you got the elements out there. You got wind currents that are different in different states. You got wind currents stronger over here, weak over there. You got warmer air over here, not so warm here over this side, cold air this side, this air that side. You know, so those things could affect, it will affect the change of the weather.